Hey, Ducksteer, Luke here, and in this video we are looking at stage 3 of the Volvo V70 detail. I suppose this one's a little less of a detail, it's more of an alloy wheel refurb and painting the brake calipers, and also just giving the inside of the wheel arches a bit of a clean. After spending quite a bit of time cleaning the interior and exterior of the car, it was clear that the wheels were still letting the finished product down. As you can see here, they're all curved and flaking and are in desperate need of a refurb. Whilst the wheel was off, it made sense to give the inside of the arches a quick clean. I wasn't trying to get them spotless because this is a 13-year-old car and will be in daily use, so they just get pretty dirty quickly again anyway. But it was worth spending 10 minutes per corner to make them a bit more presentable. I started by using a stiff brush whilst the arch was dry, and this allowed most of the dirt to come off as dust rather than turning into mud. And once it was kinda clean, I soaked the area with some strong all-purpose cleaner and I moved on to snow foam and agitated the area again. This was quite quick and effective overall, and once clean it was apparent that there was a lot of tar build-up. So I took some tar remover and saturated the area before wiping down after a few minutes. This didn't get it all, but was still much better. Finally, I just sprayed the area with Salmon Ceramic Boost to give some protection underneath there. It'll probably only last a couple of months, but I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it. The second thing was to tackle the rusted brake calipers. I struggled to decide on what colour to paint them because I was torn between silver, red, yellow or Polestar blue. But silver was a little bit too generic, yellow could be a little bit in your face and Polestar blue wouldn't match the car's magic blue paintwork. So I settled on red. It's hard to go wrong with red anyway, it's subtle enough to fit the car but also add a little bit of sportiness to the appearance. Then it was on to the main task, the alloys. I started with a power wash and then an iron decontamination, then a rub down with a magic eraser. After this, I decided to get my friend to take the tyres off because I had a really good set of Nexen All Seasons that had only covered a couple of thousand miles on the A4. And they were the same size as the Volvos. And they should prove to be a lot better than the £35 per corner Excellons that the Volvo already had on them. I tried removing as much of the curb marks with 80 grit sandpaper as possible before applying the filler. and then I cleaned out any of the dirt and the grooves with my rotary tool. I'm using Isopon alloy wheel filler, and this is stronger than body filler and it's reinforced with aluminium, and links to everything I used are in the description below. And after shaping the filler and leaving it for 20 minutes, I came back in with 80 grit and then smoothed the surface down, and then went over the face of 160 grit and then 320. Before painting, I wiped down the surface with a wax and grease remover. First up is the primer. I'm using an etch primer since it will bond better to the wheel than regular primer, and it's going to be very important to get the best, most durable finish possible. I did 3 coats, starting with a light dusting and getting progressively heavier, leaving 10 minutes drying time in between each coat. And then it was on to paint, following the same method as the primer, but by the end of the second coat, I lightly dry sanded with 800 grit sandpaper to smooth the surface before applying the third and heavy final coat. And then it was 3 coats of clear. For the time it takes to restore them, it was worth spending a few minutes on the centre caps. I started with 800 grit to remove the heavier scratches, then 1200, then 1500, 2500 and finally 3000 before breaking out my machine polisher with a cutting compound and pad, and finally a polishing compound and pad. Then to enhance the shine, I went over the face of the wheel with a compound and pad and cutting compound to help level the surface a bit. Then my new tyres were put on and balanced. Of course we should add some finishing touches now as well, so following the trend of parts 1 and parts 2, I went for black Perl trim and tyre armour again. We need to make sure that the tyre is spotless for it to stick properly. So a strong APC and a stiff brush were used, and it took 2 passes until the suds were white. I was also careful not to catch the face of the wheel with the brush. 2 coats were needed to get a good even coverage. The advantage of black Perl is that it lasts for months on the tyre, so it's worth doing it whilst they are off. And when dry, it really does give a fantastic wet look appearance to them. The final step with the wheel was to apply a ceramic coating, and once again I'm using Avalon King. I also applied it to the inside of the wheel. And one tip I'd like to give, once your wheels are painted, rub down the inside of the wheel with 1200 grit if you've not painted back there. If you run your hands over there, you'll feel it's rough with overspray. By smoothing it out, it'll be much easier to clean as dirt will be less likely to stick to it, and the ceramic coating will be able to do its job better. Then it was time to put them back on the car. I greased the nuts and torqued them up. And yes, I know my arches could really do with some black paint over the rusted areas, but I'll do that another time as I had no suitable paint to hand. Alright, so first question a lot of you have been asking, and you're probably wondering even more now after the fact I put new tyres on this car and painted the calipers, is why the hell am I going to all this effort on a car that I'm selling? And probably a lot of you have guessed, I'm not selling this car. I decided to keep this as my daily driver because it's just had too much work done. Mechanically the car is absolutely great apart from the two issues that was mentioned when I picked the car up. But literally it's just has been taken care of most of its life really well, and with the not being able to go out for the last few weeks, I've just really gone overboard on the car, so I've done too much stuff on it to justify selling the car. There's no profit in it when you take labour into account. So what's happening is the A4 is going to go. In fact, I think I've got someone who's bought that already, and this is going to replace the A4. So this entire trading up series is still going ahead absolutely fine, and the fact that in a sense the Fusion led to the A4 which has been sold, that's still a great place to be at the end of having a second car. Just the fact is, we've gone to the A4 and we've also got the Volvo now to keep. But I'll do a full video on why I'm keeping the Volvo in the near future. But just thought I'll let you all know. Anyway, that is everything on the V70 up to this point. We've still got more videos to do. We need to even drive this thing. I've not even drove it yet. I could drive like a bag of crap, but I have been in as a passenger. It seems to be a good car. So we're going to start fixing the mechanical issues soon, be more videos on that, and we'll start looking for car 3. We've also got the Astra coming up as well, so there's loads of stuff, just in no order to do them in. But yeah, overall I'm very happy with how the car's turned out cosmetically. There's a lot of stuff doing it, so it's been worthwhile so far. Anyway, if you want to see more stuff like this, and the cars I'm trading up to in the future, like what can I sell the A4 for, and what can I replace it with, just subscribe to this channel, hit the notification icon if you've not already. It'd be great to have you along for the ride. But until next time, thank you all for watching, see you soon, and take care.